Hi everyone, my name is Bill Bross and I'm a developer here at Vieth Consulting, and today we're going to be taking a look at the member database and how to use all the different functions in there. Now I'm logged into one of our training sites right now, it's the Anytime Business Network, and the member database from the admin view is going to be right here at the top, and it's the very first link here just for member database. If we click on that, that will take us to the main page for the database. It'll just give us a quick look at all of our members. Now I would like to go over what all of these functions do, and then we'll go into editing an individual member. Now you'll see right here at the top of the page, you can get back to the main menu from here. You can also go directly to the billing menu. So if we click that, that takes us right into billing. I'm not going to go over any billing in this video here, but we do have another video up on the website about member billing. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to watch that one. Now after that one, we've got the view. Now by default, this is set to all members. That's going to view all of your full member types. That does not include things like staff or prospects or list only or social media only. It doesn't count those people as members. Those are just your list only people. If you'd like to see them as well, you can switch the view from all members to all record types. All record types will grab everyone, and you can see here it added a whole bunch of list onlys and some prospects and everything on my list for me. Or instead of doing that, you can view individual member types. Now you'll notice the ones up here that have asterisks, those are full member types, so those are counted as full members. And then down below that, we've got the ones without those, and these are your non-member types, your list onlys. So we can view any one of these individually if we want to. So if we just switch over to the family ones here, we see we've got one person in that plan. So we'll switch this back to all members. Now over to the right of that, we've got the status. By default, it's always going to be set to active, so it's only going to be looking for whatever member types you have set over here that have a status of active. Now you can switch this over to all, and it will pull out active members, pending members, denied members, and dropped members as well. Or you can view any of these individually as well if you want to. All right. Now, down below that, we've actually got the table that begins. And I'll go over what all of these things mean. First, you can show or hide columns on the table. So right now we've got name, member type, phone, email, and actions showing. Now, if I wanted to show their address and city also, I can click those, and it will increase the size of the table and put those in there for me. Switch this back over to active. Okay. So we can show and hide those ones. The reason you want to do that is if you want to get some quick info here, or if you're going to do either of these, if you're going to copy things to the clipboard or export them. Now these will copy everything that the table is currently showing. Now down at the bottom here, you scroll all the way to the bottom, you see right now that it's only showing 50 entries out of 82. If I was to hit either of those buttons and export it, it would only export these 50 records, which is not usually what I would want here. What I would want instead is to show all the members here. So now we're viewing all 82 people that it pulls up with these criteria. Now if I hit to clipboard, it's going to copy all 82 rows to the clipboard. Or if I hit export, I have the option to export it as a CSV, a comma-separated values, an Excel file, or a PDF. And it's going to export all the values that I have in here that I have showing right now. If I show additional columns here, it will pull those into the report as well. So that's kind of the usage of these ones. All right. After that, we have the Add New Member button, and that's how you'll add a new member. And you can also search for members. So, if I wanted to search for myself here, I'll search for Bross and say Go. I don't have any, or I'm not as a member in this one. I might be a record type, though. And I do have one set up as a record type with my name in it. Now, if I search for Vieth, I know we have quite a few of these ones. And you'll see we get a whole bunch of ones. It pulls up anything that's got Vieth in it. So it's got Vieth in the email on this one. It's got it in the name on this one over here. So it's going to do a very thorough search and find anything that you need out of here. Now, one thing to remember if you do search for something, next time you come back, you'll have to clear it because it will save your search from time to time or from session to session. All right. So I'm going to hide some of these additional columns here so we have more to look at. There we go. Now, I'd like to go into viewing just an individual member. Adding a new member and editing a member, the screens look exactly the same. So I'm just going to edit one that's already there so we can see how that looks. Okay, and we'll use this first member record here. These action ones right here at the right. The first one is edit, the edit pencil. The X will delete it. The person one will give you info about this person. We'll pull this up. It's like a little mini profile basically. We'll give you all their member info, their billing info, any people they're cross-referenced to, any of their contacts you've had with them, any events that they signed up for, and any store transactions that they have. So it's going to keep track of all of that. So you can always get a quick view just over their profile by clicking on that. And then this one right here, this will just bring up the functions menu. It tells you what all these different things do. Okay, so we're just going to click Edit on this first person here to look at what these screens look like. Now if I pull this up here, this is where we can actually edit their profile. The top section is mostly just general contact info for this person. So we've got their business name, their profile info, their name, their address. We can enable alternate addresses as well. So if you want them to be able to put 2 addresses on there and select from them, we can add those in there. We also have a billing email address for them and a whole bunch of phone numbers. We can turn these on and off as well for you. Down below that, we've got categories that we can set up. Now we can call these anything you want, so we can change the verbiage on that very easily. But usually what these are is just a big list of things that you want people to specify things in their profile. They can have up to 5 of them, and you'll see here if I click on the list, you can control through a control panel exactly what options show up in this list. So if I wanted to start picking categories, I can just go through here. The list is going to be the same for each category, but you can select a different one, so they can have up to 5 of these attached to their profile. And like I said, we can rename them to something else. These are also searchable, so if you'd like to search for everybody who has a specific category or who has a specific item in one of their categories, we can do that as well. Down below here is the email and the secondary email. This email field is very important because this is the field that gets pulled out whenever you do broadcast emails to people or whenever you run invoice reports to mail out invoices or past due receipts to people. This is the email it's going to look for. Down below that, we've got their username. As long as you enter a username for them, it will create a password for them and it will send them a welcome email when you save the record. In addition, if you just ever wanted to resend them their welcome email right here, you can click on that and that will send them the welcome email, which always has a copy of their username and password in it. Alternately, you can reset their password as well. So if they say, hey, I want to reset my password, but I don't know how, you can send them that and that will reset their password for them. You can mark here if it's a veteran-owned business. There are certain things where different organizations will use this as an identifier, so they can be pulled out of their profile. And now we get to some more advanced ones here. And you'll notice the status one, this is the first one that comes up like this, that has an asterisk in front of it. What the asterisk denotes is that only admins can edit this field. A member cannot come in here and they cannot edit their status. They can't edit their member type. They cannot change their security level. They can't change their cross-reference. So any of these ones here, only admins can change those for them. So anything that you want locked that you don't want the members to be able to edit, make sure that it's an admin field, or we have made them like that as well. Now, when you get to the member type here, or I'm sorry, we were at the status. At the status here, if they're marked as active, it means that they can log into the system and they have full rights as a member. They can access anything that you've given members rights to. If they're marked as pending, it means that they can sort of log into the system, but their permissions are very, very limited. They can only really view their profile information if they're set to pending. They can't really do anything else in the members area. If they are denied, it means they do not have access at all to the members area. And if you drop them, it means that gets rid of their information completely. You've got their expiration date on here. You can't change this because what this does is this looks at their billing and lets you know when this person will expire. So this person is actually renewed for a couple more years. Their member type down here, this denotes exactly what the type of member that they are and how much they're yearly or biannual or however you have your billing set up. It determines how that is set. So you can see right here if we click on this, these are all the different member types that we've set up for this testing organization. You're able to edit these yourselves and create new ones using the member plans area. I'm not going to cover this in this video, but we do have a separate video that does cover that. All right. Down below here, we have a couple different things. If you're using tiered member plans, which we will talk about in a separate video, you can put employee counts in here, and that will determine how much they will have to pay. You can also create membership add-ons in the billing system. So you can do things like sponsorship or subscription to a magazine or something like that, and you can tack that onto their invoice by clicking on these boxes here. Down below that, we've got member security level. There's only 2 security levels in the MMS. There is normal member, which means regular member, they have access rights to member things. And then there's administrative, which means they have full administrative rights to the whole system. Now, there are levels of gradation between this, which I'll go over in just a minute. But in terms of security level, there's only the 2 basic ones. We have a cross-reference system right here. What you can do with this is you can essentially cross-reference one member beneath another one. So, for example, if you've got a family plan and you've got one person set up as the main family record, but you do want to have records for the other family members, you can create those records and you can cross-reference them beneath other ones by clicking on the change one. And so we can say exactly who we would want this person to be cross-referenced to. So, I could cross-reference this person to this person here, and it would tie them together and tie their billing together. Below that, we've got their join date. This by default will pull in the date that they joined and they registered, but you're able to manually edit this as well if there was an error, if you wanted to backdate them or something like that. Or if you're doing any manual applications, you can fill that out by hand. We've got a referred by field in here. So if you want, you can say how they were referred to your organization, by brochure, direct mail, magazine, etc. Now, down below here, we've got some different options for the members to be able to opt themselves in and out of things. So they can check this box and they can exclude themselves from the public member list. So if they don't want to be on any public member list that you publish, they can exclude themselves from that. This one here, this will hide their website URL in the public member list. And their URL is up at the top here. And where was that? Oh, right here, website URL. So if they enter anything in here, that will show up in their member list, or in their profile in the member list, but they can hide that URL if they don't want it to show up. They can also choose to include the city and state in the Google Map results. So if they want to be included in the Google Map, they can check that. They can also check and see if they want to receive the paper newsletter. This refers to the paper newsletter, not the electronic one. Now, down below here, we've got 4 different lists right here, and you'll see prospects at, newsletters at, members at, and board at. These are different lists that can be set up for your organization, and actually they're set up by default for your organization. And if people check these, if you send these to them in the broadcast messaging system, then they will receive this email. Now, they can opt themselves in and out of them by checking on these ones, and these are determined by, in the broadcast system, you can send these to these different lists here. So if they're opt into the list, they'll receive the email if you include them. If they're opt out of the list, they will not receive the email. So this is a good way for them to be able to subscribe themselves to lists or unsubscribe. The one down below that, this one's a little special. There's a board list, but they can't opt themselves into this one. It's an asterisk one because it also denotes that they're a board member. Anywhere in the system that you see something that says like restrict to board members only or only allow board members to do this, this is what it's looking for. It's looking to see if this box is checked in their profile. If it is, it considers them a board member, and you can give them a title if you want and the rank. The reason we split it up like this is because some people use president as the board leader, and some people use chairman, whatever you want. So you can put whatever title you want here, and then rank them however you like. We have files that will be outputted as well that will pull in people who have this checked in their profile and automatically create a board list. So we can do that for you as well if you'd like to create a board list that auto updates. Finally, down here, we've got suppressed broadcast emails entirely. So if they don't want to receive any emails at all from you, they can check that, and that will opt them out of the broadcast system completely. The only emails that they will still receive, even if they have this checked, are billing emails. So anything related to renewing, past due, statements, anything that has to do with billing, they'll still receive those emails. Now down below here, these fields are a bunch of different custom fields that we set up just for this organization. And we can do this for any of you organizations as well. We can set up all sorts of different types of fields. We can create drop-downs, we can create checkboxes, we can create big multi-line text fields, we can even create regular text fields like this. And we can create usually about as many of those as you need. So if you ever need those created, just feel free to ask us and let us know. We'll be happy to make those for you. These fields are all able to be reported on, so they can all be pulled into the custom reports module. And in addition, you can also narrow them down by in broadcast messaging. So if you only want to send things to people who have this box checked, you can do that as well. Down below that, we've got a list of projects and committees. Projects and committees are another module in the MMS that we'll have a separate video on later. But basically, these are different things that people can join and have their own little file archives, message boards, things like that in there. If it's an open project or committee, so if it's not restricted to certain members or member types or invitation only, it will show up as options where they can immediately join the project and committee just by clicking these boxes here. Doing this and saving their profile will immediately opt them into these projects and committees, and then they'll have rights to do things within them. If you make a private project and committee or an invitation-only one, it will not show up on this list, so they won't be able to opt themselves into it. And then finally down here we have an admin notes area. You'll see that has an asterisk by it. This is in case an admin wants to put any notes about this member for any reason at all. You can put them right down in here. Now the very bottom set right here, all these ones right here, these are partial admin permissions. So before I was talking about, we only have this 2 security settings. We've got member and admin. Now between that, you don't always want to give full admin rights to everybody, even if you need them to help you out with something. That's where these come into play. In order to use these, you'll have to mark somebody as a member. So their member security level must absolutely be set to member for this. Once that's set to member, you can check any of these, and it will grant them admin permission to this module and only this module. So for example, if I have a member and I want to make them a normal member, but I'd really love it if they were able to manage my calendar for me, I can check this box right here, and the next time they log in, they'll have a special link where they can log in to manage the calendar. but they won't have any other admin access rights. This is the only thing they can have. You can check multiple things in here, and you can give them access to multiple modules if you want to, and they'll only have access to those ones. Now finally down here you can see who the member record was added by. So if they join themselves, their own name will be there, or if they were added by somebody else, that will come up there. You can add a cross-reference member to this member. Now this is different than the one up here where we were cross-referencing. This will, if you use this option, this will cross-reference the member that you're working on beneath the member you choose here. If you choose this option, this will make the member you're working on the top level member, and it will add somebody else beneath them. So that's the difference between those ones here. Now some of these other ones are things you have to set up in the configuration, so if they're not enabled for you right now and you'd like them, just let us know. We have the ability to allow members to upload their own photos, so they can upload like a profile photo if they want to. We also have the ability to let them create their member photo galleries where they can upload a whole bunch of photos, and it can be their own personal gallery. And then finally, we have member documents that will allow members to upload a whole bunch of documents that are private to them and admins as well. All right, so that is the basis of the member database right here. That's how you can change somebody here. The only other thing I'd like to point out is at the very top here, we've got a link straight to this member's billing info. If we click on that, this goes right into the billing system, and it goes right to this person's billing info, so the person you're editing right here. So you can go very quickly between this person's billing info, and then when you're on this screen, you can go back to this member's info and get back to their screen with all their member info on it right here. All right, so we'll go back to the main page here. That is pretty much the gist of the member database. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to submit a ticket. The easiest way to submit a ticket, and I'll demonstrate this real quick, back to the main menu here. If you go into our help desk here, right here you can search for anything that you need. So if you have a question about the member database, you can search for it right here and get any answers you want. Or if you have a specific question and you can't find it in the help desk, or you're having trouble, you can click here to submit a help request. This will go right into our ticket system, and it will pull out your info that you're logged in with, and you can put in a subject here and then a request, just like a normal email, and then click on next step. That will send an email into our ticket system with whatever question you have, and during a weekday, our response time is usually 1 to 2 hours for that. On the weekends, we usually try to get back within 24 hours. But this is by far the best way to get a hold of us. So like I said, if you have any questions about anything in this video or anything else on the MMS, please feel free to submit a ticket, and we'll be happy to help you. Okay, and that is the member database. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.